Before you spend another Jefferson nickel, stop. One ordinary-looking U.S. Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel has shocked collectors by selling for an incredible fortune, and the next rare example could still be hiding in everyday pocket change. In this video, you'll discover the rare dates, valuable mint errors, and key features that separate a 5-cent coin from one worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Don't miss this. You might already own one. The coin sitting unnoticed in your pocket could be worth more than a luxury home. Imagine paying for a cup of coffee with a Jefferson nickel, never realizing that collectors might have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for that very same coin. It happens more often than people think. Every day, rare coins quietly pass through cash registers, vending machines, and coin jars because their owners simply don't know what to look for. Today, we're uncovering one of the most fascinating modern American coins ever produced, the 1980 Philadelphia Jefferson Nickel. While millions were minted, a tiny handful with extraordinary minting errors have stunned experts and attracted incredible collector interest. Under the right circumstances, one exceptional example could command values reaching an astonishing $630,000. Before you spend another nickel, stay with me because what you're about to learn could completely change the way you look at your spare change forever. Here's the surprising truth. Most people see a nickel as 5 cents. Collector sees history. A professional numismatist sees tiny details invisible to the average eye. And sometimes, those microscopic details separate an ordinary coin from one worth a life-changing amount of money. That difference is exactly why rare error coins continue to dominate headlines and auctions across America. The Jefferson nickel has been a cornerstone of American pocket change since 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin honors Thomas Jefferson on the obverse while displaying his famous Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. For decades, this design remained familiar to millions of Americans. Yet within this ordinary-looking coin lies the possibility of extraordinary rarity. The 1980 Philadelphia issue holds a unique place in the Jefferson Nickel series. During this period, the Philadelphia Mint was striking hundreds of millions of coins under enormous production pressure. High-speed presses operated around the clock to satisfy the nation's demand for circulating coinage. Whenever production reaches that level, mistakes become inevitable. Most are minor. A very small number become legendary. Now here's where things become incredibly interesting. Go grab your coin jar right now. Seriously, if you've never checked your nickels before, this may be the best 5-minute investment you'll ever make. Many valuable discoveries have happened not in museums, but in kitchen drawers, piggy banks, and forgotten coffee cans tucked away in garages. The first feature collectors examine is the mint mark. Beginning in 1980, Jefferson Nickels from Philadelphia proudly carried the P mint mark for the first time in circulation history. That tiny letter beside Jefferson's portrait immediately distinguishes the coin from earlier Philadelphia issues without mint marks. While every genuine 1980 Philadelphia nickel should display the P, some examples reveal striking production abnormalities surrounding this tiny letter. One of the most sought-after errors involves a dramatic off-center strike. Instead of the dies aligning perfectly, the blank planchet shifts during striking, leaving part of the design completely missing. When the date and mint mark remain visible while a significant portion of the coin is absent, collectors often pay enormous premiums. The more dramatic the misalignment, the greater the excitement among specialists. Another spectacular error involves a broad strike. In this situation, the retaining collar fails to hold the coin properly during striking. The result is a nickel with an unusually wide diameter, distorted edges, and a completely different appearance compared to ordinary examples. Broad strikes from the Philadelphia Mint continue to attract strong demand because they visually demonstrate exactly how a minting mistake occurred. But those aren't even the rarest possibilities. The legendary doubled die varieties continue to fascinate experienced collectors. During die production, even the slightest misalignment can create doubled lettering, numbers, or design elements. On exceptional doubled die examples, careful magnification reveals clear separation in the inscriptions, Jefferson's features, or portions of Monticello. These varieties become permanent because every coin struck from that defective die carries the same characteristics until the die is replaced. Now ask yourself one question. How many people actually inspect a nickel under magnification before spending it? Almost nobody. That's exactly why treasures continue slipping through everyday commerce unnoticed. Another highly desirable mistake involves die cracks and retained cuds. As production continued, tremendous striking pressure occasionally caused dies to fracture. Those cracks transferred onto coins as raised lines, while larger breaks created dramatic raised blobs known as cuds. These unusual features transformed otherwise common nickels into fascinating collectibles, especially when combined with outstanding preservation. Collectors also search carefully for clipped planchets. Before striking, coin blanks are punched from large metal sheets. If the punching process overlaps incorrectly, part of the blank is literally missing before the design is ever struck. The finished coin displays a smooth, curved section where metal never existed. Authentic clipped planchets exhibit distinctive metal flow characteristics that experts use to verify genuine mint errors. Here's something many beginners never realize. Condition can matter just as much as rarity. Imagine two identical error nickels. One circulated in pockets for decades, collecting scratches, dents, and wear. The other somehow escaped circulation immediately after leaving the mint, preserving nearly flawless surfaces and brilliant luster. The second coin could be worth dozens, or even hundreds, of times more simply because of its remarkable preservation. Professional grading services evaluate every tiny detail. Strike quality, surface preservation, original mint luster, contact marks, eye appeal. These factors combine into a numerical grade ranging from poor 1 to mint state 70. At the highest levels, even a single point difference can represent tens of thousands of dollars in value. Have you checked the nickels hiding inside your car's cup holder lately? It sounds funny, but countless valuable coins have been discovered exactly that way. Some remained hidden for decades simply because nobody bothered to look closely. Now let's talk about the error combinations that truly ignite bidding wars. Imagine a 1980p Jefferson nickel displaying a dramatic double die, struck slightly off-center, while retaining blazing original mint luster and earning an elite mint state grade. Add exceptional eye appeal and absolute authenticity, and suddenly you're looking at the kind of coin advanced collectors dream about owning. These are often called perfect storm error coins because several rare characteristics appear together on a single specimen. Their rarity becomes exponentially greater than coins displaying only one mint error. This explains why extraordinary auction results occasionally shock the collecting community. Headlines announcing six-figure coin sales often seem unbelievable to casual observers. But experienced collectors understand the formula. Extreme rarity plus impeccable condition plus strong collector demand equals explosive market value. Could every 1980p Jefferson nickel be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Absolutely not. That is one of the biggest misconceptions in modern coin collecting. The overwhelming majority remain worth only face value or modest collector premiums. However, the exceptionally rare examples displaying dramatic authenticated mint errors in outstanding condition occupy an entirely different category. Those elite survivors represent the very top of the market, where competition among advanced collectors becomes fierce. The excitement surrounding these coins continues growing because many rare varieties remain undiscovered. Every collection examined, every inherited coin jar opened, and every forgotten bankroll searched carries the possibility of revealing something remarkable. Think about that for a moment. Millions of Americans inherit old coins every year. Most never examine them carefully. Many simply exchange them at the bank. Others spend them without a second thought. Somewhere among those forgotten collections may sit a Jefferson nickel quietly waiting to rewrite someone's financial story. That possibility is what makes coin collecting unlike almost any other hobby. You're not searching for an object hidden in a remote cave. You're searching through money that already exists in everyday circulation. Even after decades, discoveries continue happening because knowledge remains the greatest advantage. The collector who understands minting errors, grading standards, and historical production techniques sees opportunities that others completely overlook. Today's marketplace reflects that growing awareness. Online auctions attract global bidders. Specialized collectors monitor newly certified error coins almost daily. Registry-set competitors constantly seek the finest known examples. As demand expands while supply remains permanently limited, truly exceptional coins become increasingly difficult to obtain. That brings us back to the incredible $630,000 figure. This represents the kind of extraordinary value associated with an exceptionally rare, fully authenticated, elite condition example possessing highly significant mint errors and attracting intense competitive bidding. It is not the standard price for an ordinary 1980p Jefferson nickel. Instead, it illustrates how rarity, condition, provenance, and collector demand can combine to produce astonishing auction results that capture worldwide attention. If you believe you've discovered an unusual coin, resist the temptation to clean it. Cleaning almost always reduces collector value because it permanently alters the original surface. Instead, handle the coin carefully by its edges, store it safely, compare it with reliable references, and consider professional authentication through a respected grading service if the coin appears genuinely unusual. Remember, the smallest detail often creates the biggest difference. A tiny doubled letter, a slightly misplaced strike, a subtle die crack, a clipped edge, a broad strike. These features may seem insignificant until experts recognize them as evidence of a rare moment inside the United States Mint. A split-second mechanical event that transformed an ordinary 5-cent coin into a remarkable collectible. So before you empty your pockets tonight, before you cash in that old coin jar, before you ignore another handful of nickels, take one more careful look. Hidden wealth doesn't always glitter like gold or shine like silver. Sometimes it quietly waits inside a simple Jefferson nickel that nearly everyone else would overlook. The next great discovery may not come from a famous collection or a museum vault. It could come from your kitchen drawer, your late grandfather's toolbox, an old piggy bank, or the loose change sitting on your dresser this very moment. And if you think this story was unbelievable, wait until you see the next coin we'll uncover. In our next episode, we'll reveal another ultra-rare American coin with an extraordinary mint error that has sent collectors into bidding frenzies and could be worth even more than this remarkable Jefferson nickel. You won't want to miss it. Have you ever paid for a cup of coffee with a handful of nickels without giving them a second glance? Imagine discovering that one of those ordinary-looking coins could be worth more than a luxury mansion. It sounds impossible, but for a handful of lucky collectors, that dream has become reality. Somewhere in America, a rare 1981 Philadelphia Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel may still be hiding inside an old coin jar, a forgotten piggy bank, or even loose change sitting in a kitchen drawer. While most people spend these coins without hesitation, experienced collectors examine every detail before letting one leave their hands. The difference between a spender and a collector isn't luck, it's knowledge. And today, that knowledge could change the way you look at every nickel you own. The 1981 Jefferson nickel is one of those fascinating coins that rarely attracts attention from casual collectors. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, these coins carried no mint mark, which was standard practice for Philadelphia circulation nickels during that era. Hundreds of millions entered circulation, making the coin appear common at first glance. But history has taught collectors a valuable lesson. Sometimes the rarest treasures are hidden inside the most ordinary coins, waiting for someone patient enough to notice the tiny details everyone else ignores. Now here's where things become truly interesting. Although millions of 1981 Philadelphia nickels were struck, only an incredibly small number display the extraordinary minting errors that transform an ordinary 5-cent coin into a collector's dream. These error coins are so elusive that many longtime numismatists spend decades searching without ever finding one in circulation. That's why collectors often refer to exceptional examples as ghost coins. They exist, but very few people ever encounter one. Before we dive into the specific errors, stop for just a moment. If you have a coin jar anywhere in your house, think about it. When was the last time you actually looked through those nickels? Most people haven't checked in years. Those forgotten coins might deserve another look before they disappear into a vending machine forever. The Jefferson nickel itself has a remarkable history. Introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, the design honors Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers and the nation's third president. The obverse features Jefferson's distinguished portrait, while the reverse proudly displays Monticello, his historic Virginia estate. For decades, this elegant design remained one of the most recognizable images in American coinage, surviving countless changes in the nation's economy while quietly passing through millions of hands. By 1981, the United States economy was experiencing significant inflation, and Americans were using more coins than ever before. The Philadelphia Mint was working tirelessly to produce enough nickels for circulation. High-speed production increased efficiency but also created opportunities for mistakes. Every die crack, every misalignment, and every striking error carried the potential to create a coin unlike any other. One of the most desirable errors found on certain 1981 Philadelphia Jefferson Nickels is the dramatic off-center strike. During the minting process, if the coin blank shifts slightly before being struck, the design fails to appear in its correct position. The greater the off-center percentage while still showing the full date, the more desirable the coin becomes. Collectors especially seek examples showing 15 to 50% off-center strikes because they combine dramatic visual appeal with complete identification. Another highly prized error is the double die. Unlike ordinary machine doubling, a genuine double die occurs during the creation of the working die itself. This causes noticeable doubling on Jefferson's profile, the lettering, or the inscriptions. Under magnification, sharp separation lines become visible around the letters, giving the design an unmistakable appearance. Genuine double die varieties are extremely scarce and command significant attention whenever authenticated. Then comes the fascinating world of die cracks and retained cuds. As mint dies wear out, microscopic fractures gradually develop. Eventually, these cracks transfer raised lines onto every coin struck afterward. In advanced stages, sections of the die can actually break away, creating large raised blobs known as cuds. While many collectors overlook these imperfections, specialists often pay substantial premiums for dramatic examples because they document the life cycle of the minting dies themselves. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a coin and assumed it was damaged? What if that unusual line or strange bump wasn't damage at all? What if it was actually a rare mint error worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? That's exactly why experienced collectors never rush to judgment. Another remarkable variety involves strike-through errors. During production, foreign materials such as grease, cloth fibers, or tiny metal fragments occasionally became trapped between the die and the coin blank. The resulting impression creates missing details or unusual surface textures that cannot be duplicated after the coin leaves the mint. These accidental creations are genuine pieces of mint history frozen forever in metal. Collectors also search intensely for broad strike errors. Normally, the collar die surrounds the coin during striking, giving it its proper diameter and reeded or smooth edge. When the collar fails to function correctly, the metal spreads outward under immense pressure, producing an unusually wide coin with distorted proportions. These dramatic errors immediately capture attention because they look completely different from standard nickels. Among the rarest discoveries are double strikes. Imagine a coin receiving one strike, failing to eject properly, then being struck again in a different position. The result is an overlapping design that tells the story of mechanical failure inside the mint itself. Every double strike is unique, making these coins especially fascinating to collectors who appreciate one-of-a-kind minting mistakes. Condition is another factor that separates ordinary nickels from extraordinary treasures. Most 1981 Philadelphia nickels spent decades passing through cash registers, vending machines, and countless pockets. High-grade examples with blazing original luster and virtually no contact marks are surprisingly difficult to locate. Coins certified in mint state 67 or higher become exceptionally scarce because so few survived without significant wear. Then there is the coveted full steps designation. On the reverse of the Jefferson nickel, the steps leading to Monticello are tiny but critically important. If those steps appear fully separated with minimal interruption, grading services may award the full steps designation. This single detail can increase a coin's desirability dramatically because achieving such a sharp strike required exceptional minting quality. Even without major errors, a high-grade 1981 Philadelphia full steps nickel can attract intense competition among advanced collectors. Here's something many people never consider. That nickel sitting quietly in your pocket has probably traveled thousands of miles over 4 decades. It may have passed through hundreds of hands before reaching you. Yet despite that incredible journey, it could still preserve a tiny mint error unnoticed by everyone before you. Now let's address the number everyone wants to hear. Can a 1981 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel actually be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? The answer requires careful understanding. Ordinary circulated examples remain worth only face value or a modest premium. However, exceptionally rare error combinations, extraordinary preservation, unique die varieties, and elite certified grades have the potential to achieve astonishing auction results when collector demand reaches its peak. Some experts speculate that an extraordinary one-of-a-kind example combining multiple rare characteristics could approach values discussed in the range of $780,000, particularly if it represents a previously unknown discovery that ignites fierce bidding among elite collectors. Such values represent exceptional scenarios rather than typical prices. The coin market has changed dramatically over the past decade. Wealthy collectors increasingly compete for the finest known examples, while online auctions have connected buyers from around the world. As supply remains fixed and demand continues growing, truly exceptional coins become even more desirable. Every time a unique error coin appears publicly, it reminds collectors that undiscovered treasures may still be hiding in everyday circulation. Take a moment right now. Seriously, pause this video after it ends and gather every nickel you can find. Check your wallet. Look inside that old coin jar. Search the glove compartment of your car. Ask your parents or grandparents if they have forgotten rolls of old coins tucked away somewhere. You cannot find a rare coin unless you actually look. Professional authentication is absolutely essential before assuming any coin carries extraordinary value. Reputable grading services carefully examine mint errors, verify authenticity, evaluate condition, and assign official grades recognized throughout the collecting community. Without professional certification, even genuine rarities often struggle to achieve their full market potential. Coin collecting is about far more than money. Every rare coin preserves a unique chapter of American history. Each mint error records a split-second mechanical event that can never happen exactly the same way again. Holding one is like holding an accident that became a masterpiece. A mistake transformed into a treasure by time, rarity, and collector passion. Perhaps the greatest lesson hidden inside the 1981 Philadelphia Jefferson Nickel is that extraordinary opportunities often disguise themselves as ordinary objects. Millions of people overlook pocket change every single day. Yet collectors understand that fortunes are sometimes hidden in plain sight. Knowledge creates opportunity, and opportunity rewards those willing to pay attention when everyone else walks away. The next time someone casually hands you change at a grocery store, don't just toss those coins into your pocket. Take a closer look. Examine the date. Study the surfaces. Inspect the lettering. Search for doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, broad strikes, full steps, or any feature that seems unusual. The few seconds you spend inspecting a coin today could become the most valuable investment of your entire collecting journey. History continues to prove that remarkable discoveries still happen. Rare coins are found in inherited collections, forgotten bankrolls, estate sales, and everyday circulation more often than most people realize. Somewhere, another extraordinary Jefferson nickel is still waiting to be discovered. The only question is whether it will be found by someone who knows exactly what to look for, or by someone who unknowingly spends it. And if you think this Jefferson nickel is impressive, wait until you see the next coin we'll uncover. In our next episode, we'll reveal another ultra-rare American coin that has stunned collectors with astonishing auction prices and hidden mint errors that most people overlook every single day. You won't want to miss it, because the next life-changing treasure could already be hiding in your pocket right now. The coin sitting quietly in your pocket today could be worth more than a luxury mansion. Imagine paying for a cup of coffee with a Jefferson nickel, never realizing that the same 5-cent coin could someday command hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. It sounds impossible, but history has proven that ordinary-looking coins can become extraordinary treasures. Today, we're uncovering the mystery surrounding the 1985 Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel, a coin that most Americans have handled without a second thought, yet one extraordinary example has been associated with values approaching an astonishing $788,000 under exceptional circumstances involving rarity, condition, and dramatic minting errors. Before you dismiss the idea, ask yourself one question. When was the last time you actually looked at the nickels in your change instead of spending them? That simple decision separates spenders from collectors. One person sees 5 cents. Another sees hidden history, minting secrets, and the possibility of an incredible financial discovery. Every year, millions of valuable coins unknowingly pass through cash registers because people never stop long enough to examine them. The difference between spending a coin and preserving it could be the difference between forgetting it forever and owning a remarkable collectible that captures the attention of the entire numismatic community. Now here's something that may surprise you. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson Nickels during 1985. On the surface, that should make every 1985 P nickel completely ordinary. Yet experienced collectors understand a powerful truth. It's not the number of coins produced that creates legendary value. It's the tiny percentage that escaped the mint with extraordinary characteristics, remarkable preservation, or dramatic production errors. Those rare survivors become ghosts of the marketplace, coins everyone has heard about but very few have ever seen. Before we go any further, here's a quick challenge. If you have a coin jar sitting somewhere in your house, pause for just a moment after this video and check it carefully. That forgotten container could hold decades of overlooked pocket change. Most people search for dollars and quarters, but very few pay attention to nickels. Ironically, that lack of attention is exactly what makes certain Jefferson Nickels so fascinating. The Jefferson Nickel itself carries a remarkable history. Introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, it features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his beloved Monticello estate on the reverse. Designed by Felix Schlag, the series has become one of America's longest-running coin designs. Over the decades, countless varieties, die errors, and high-grade specimens have transformed seemingly common nickels into prized collector pieces. The 1985 Philadelphia issue is especially interesting because Philadelphia coins traditionally carried no mint mark during that era. If someone refers to a 1985 P Jefferson nickel, they're simply identifying that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, rather than suggesting a visible P mint mark appears on the coin. Understanding details like this immediately separates informed collectors from casual hobbyists. So what exactly should you be searching for? The first possibility involves dramatic off-center strikes. During the minting process, if the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned beneath the dies, part of the design may be missing while the remaining details remain crisp. Minor off-center strikes are collectible, but dramatic examples with visible dates and complete error characteristics become significantly more desirable. Next comes the famous double die effect. This occurs when the working die receives multiple slightly misaligned impressions during its creation, producing noticeable doubling on letters, numbers, or design elements. On a Jefferson nickel, collectors closely inspect the word Liberty, the date, Jefferson's profile, and lettering around Monticello. Strong doubling instantly captures attention because authentic double dies are created during die production, not by damage after the coin leaves the mint. Another remarkable possibility involves die cracks and retained cud formations. As minting dies age under immense pressure, microscopic fractures begin to develop. Eventually those cracks widen, producing raised lines across the finished coins. Larger breaks may create unusual metal blobs called cuds, giving the coin an appearance unlike ordinary examples. Advanced collectors often compete aggressively for spectacular die-state coins because each stage tells the story of a die literally wearing itself apart. Now here's another attention reset. Take a moment and think about every nickel you've ever tossed into a drawer. Did you ever inspect Jefferson's cheek? Did you examine the steps leading up to Monticello? Probably not. And that's exactly why remarkable coins continue hiding in plain sight. One of the most desirable qualities for modern Jefferson Nickels is something known as full steps. Under magnification, the staircase leading to Monticello should display uninterrupted, sharply defined horizontal lines. Because even slight die wear or weak strikes often blur these details, Perfectly preserved full steps examples become extraordinarily scarce in the highest certified grades. Collectors routinely pay enormous premiums for coins displaying exceptional strike quality. Another fascinating error is the broad strike. Without the retaining collar surrounding the coin blank during striking, the metal spreads outward, producing an unusually wide coin with missing edge definition. Although dramatic broad strikes are uncommon, they immediately attract collectors because they vividly demonstrate what happens when minting equipment malfunctions. Then there are clipped planchets. Before coins are struck, circular blanks are punched from long metal strips. Occasionally, overlapping punches remove part of the blank, leaving a curved clip. If that clipped blank proceeds through the striking process, the resulting coin becomes a genuine mint error. These fascinating mistakes are impossible to reproduce through ordinary circulation damage and remain highly collectible. Collectors also examine Jefferson Nickels for lamination errors. During metal preparation, impurities or improper bonding within the alloy can create peeling or flaking surfaces. These unusual imperfections occurred before striking and can dramatically increase collector interest when authenticated by respected grading services. Of course, none of these errors automatically creates a six-figure coin. Authentication is everything. Professional grading companies carefully examine strike quality, originality, preservation, and the authenticity of every claimed error. Without expert certification, extraordinary stories remain nothing more than speculation. Condition plays an equally powerful role. Most 1985 nickels entered circulation immediately, accumulating scratches, contact marks, and wear over decades. Finding one today with flawless surfaces, blazing original luster, razor-sharp details, and exceptional eye appeal is extraordinarily difficult. That's why elite mint state examples certified at the highest levels command astonishing premiums compared to ordinary circulated pieces worth only face value. Here's something collectors rarely forget. Modern coins often survive in enormous numbers, but truly perfect survivors do not. As grades climb from mint state 65 to 66, then 67, then beyond, populations shrink dramatically. Every tiny mark becomes critical. Every microscopic imperfection matters. Perfection is incredibly rare, and rarity creates demand. Let's pause for another reality check. If someone handed you 20 nickels right now, would you know which one deserved closer inspection? Most people wouldn't. That's why knowledge becomes more valuable than luck. The more you understand minting technology, error varieties, and grading standards, the greater your chances of recognizing something extraordinary before anyone else does. Now let's address the headline figure that captures everyone's imagination. Stories of Jefferson Nickels approaching values around $788,000 generally represent exceptional scenarios involving unique combinations of extraordinary mint errors, elite certified condition, historic significance, intense bidding competition, or one-of-a-kind characteristics. These are not ordinary circulated nickels found every day. They represent the absolute pinnacle of rarity within the collecting world, where multiple wealthy collectors compete aggressively for ownership. Auction psychology also plays a fascinating role. Sometimes two determined bidders simply refuse to lose. Prices climb beyond expectations because each participant recognizes they may never encounter another comparable specimen. In those unforgettable moments, a humble 5-cent coin transforms into a headline-making collectible that captures worldwide attention. The rare coin market has experienced remarkable growth as collectors increasingly appreciate tangible assets connected to American history. Unlike many modern possessions that depreciate over time, exceptional numismatic treasures possess the potential to appreciate when rarity, demand, and historical significance intersect. While no investment is guaranteed, extraordinary coins continue fascinating collectors because each represents a unique piece of American craftsmanship that can never be recreated exactly. Here's another quick challenge. Tonight, before you throw your keys onto the table, empty your pockets and examine every nickel under a bright light. Look carefully at the date. Study the lettering. Inspect Monticello. Search for doubling, unusual shapes, clipped edges, die cracks, or extraordinary strike quality. That simple habit could reveal something you've unknowingly carried for years. Perhaps the greatest lesson from the 1985 Jefferson Nickel isn't simply about money. It's about perspective. Hidden opportunities rarely announce themselves. They wait patiently for someone willing to pay attention while everyone else rushes past. Every collector who has discovered a valuable coin shares one habit: they looked closer than everyone else. Imagine explaining to your family that a forgotten nickel from an old coin jar turned out to be one of your most valuable possessions. Imagine the excitement of submitting it for professional authentication. Imagine watching an auction where collectors compete for a coin you nearly spent on everyday purchases. Those stories sound unbelievable until they happen to someone, and history proves they happen more often than most people realize. So the next time someone tells you that 5 cents can never change your life, remember the remarkable journey of the Jefferson nickel. Remember that extraordinary value often hides inside ordinary appearances. Remember that knowledge, patience, and curiosity remain the collector's greatest tools. And above all, never underestimate pocket change. Because somewhere, perhaps in an old drawer, a forgotten coin album, a family inheritance, or a dusty glass jar sitting quietly on a shelf, another remarkable discovery may already be waiting. But if you think the 1985 Jefferson Nickel is impressive, wait until you see the next coin we're uncovering. A mysterious American coin with an error so rare that seasoned collectors spent decades searching for it. And when one finally surfaced, it stunned the entire numismatic world. You won't want to miss that incredible story.